This is a scene from Hyde Park.
They don't have anything in the gun.
Pin through to count exactly 82. Now this has to be complete by a minute to 1 o'clock, because at that point we will see the skies fill with aircraft. Heathrow will have been closed in order to see the waves come across of the aircraft. So these are the guns that we saw marching past the Queen earlier on today at the end of the Queen's birthday parade. Meanwhile, the crowd outside Buckingham Palace is building steadily. It seems a great sea of people coming down from the far end of the Mall. These are people who have waited patiently in order to wish the Queen a very happy Platinum Jubilee. There's some cheering behind me, and I'm sure that's only going to get louder. But meanwhile, the guns are firing, and they're also doing so in other parts of the United Kingdom: Belfast, Cardiff, Colchester, in Edinburgh, where my own castle, I'm the governor there, 105 Regiment Royal Artillery will be firing a 42-gun salute. In Gibraltar, in Stonehenge, and Plymouth, Her Majesty's Naval Base there, Portsmouth too, Stirling, York Museum, and on board ship, HMS Prince of Wales will be firing, HMS Portland, HMS Kent. First two of those ships, the first in south of Plymouth at sea, and the other at anchor off Torbay. And finally, ships alongside in foreign ports. In Stockholm, HMS Defender, and HMS Montrose in Bahrain. The officer of the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery, who is Major Fran Sykes, she must be immensely proud of the preparation made by 170 of her personnel, and there were 120 horses on parade. But my goodness, look at the multitude coming down the Mall. A wonderful sight indeed. So these guns that knew action in the First World War between 1914 and 18, and yet are so beautifully cared for and looked after. The crowd is getting more and more excited as they get closer and closer to the palace. And meanwhile, inside, the Queen and other members of the royal family will be watching coverage of this as they all reassemble after returning from Horse Guards. As I was saying, the front of Buckingham Palace is a building site at the moment, and that's why all the windows are blocked off with blue coverings, because inside enormous amounts of work are being done, but there has been a special route made through the building site for the Queen and working members of the royal family to reach the balcony in a few minutes' time. She comes. Queen looked down from this balcony with her father at the end of the Second World War in 1945. She looked down at the end of her coronation in 1953, 69 years ago today. But here, after 70 years as our sovereign, the Queen, with the working members of her family who support her in her role, she's getting a huge happy birthday. The guns will go on firing for another 2 minutes, and then the sky will be filled with the noise of aircraft past and present to salute Her Majesty from the Royal Air Force and from the Battle of Britain historic memorial flight. The Queen is holding a stick that was given to her by the Army as a present for her Platinum Jubilee, as the first wave with a Wildcat helicopter, which is escorted here by 2 Merlin helicopters, these aircraft that know the capabilities that they have in time of battle. And you can see the waves coming. The next, wave 2, another Wildcat with 3 Apache helicopters. Very shortly, the royal family will see above the great golden symbol of victory those aircraft heading towards them. I can certainly hear them myself. So from the Royal Navy, that first wave from Royal Naval Air Station at Yeovilton will be shortly above us as the guns complete their firing. It's always very difficult to assess quite how high these aircraft are, but I'll tell you, they are as low as they are allowed. And they can see the Queen's eyes from where they're sitting in their cockpits to see from each aircraft. And over comes the first wave. Wave 2, which is 1 British Army Wildcat with 3 British Army Apaches coming from Royal Naval Air Station at Yeovilton and also at Wattisham Flying School. And Wave 3, 1 Wildcat helicopter with 3 Merlin helicopters again. And then Wave 4, 3 Puma helicopters and 3 massive Chinooks. There's a really deep downdraft and rumble as they go over here, and it's fantastic. But look, perhaps one of the greatest sights of all, from the Battle of Britain flight, coming towards us now. And for the Queen and her generation, as they see this great Lancaster bomber flanked by 3 Spitfires and 2 Hurricanes. What a great sight. I think 2 Spitfires, maybe one of them wasn't up to snuff this morning, but look at them flying over now. The roar, listen to it, brings back memories of 1939 to 45. Tell she remembers that roar from those memories of her childhood when London faced the Blitz and danger was everywhere and yet overcome. And at greater speed now. 1 Phenom and 4 Texans roar across. Wave 7 and the workhorse of the Royal Air Force, which has helped deploy troops to challenges all over the world, supporting the Royal Navy, the Royal Air Force, and also the Army in its tasks. 3 Hercules. We'll hear their roar. Then in Wave 8, lofty and trenchant in the sight that they give us all here in London, a massive Atlas and Globemaster C-17. Again, these great workhorses that have played their part in supporting the armed forces. I'm sorry if I'm getting excited, but the sound of that roar is so fantastic, and I remember it from times I've needed to see those aircraft in the sky when deployed. And Wave 9, a Poseidon and a rivet joint. These aircraft that keep us safe, they listen, they look, and they make sure that we know where danger lies. I think the Queen's loving it as much as we are, as she has seen so many of these aircraft, particularly when she's visited military organisations throughout her reign. Wave 10 is a Voyager, a Lightning, and a Typhoon. And remember, all these aircraft have to be timed at different stages. So a Voyager there, with 4 Lightnings supporting it. As each of them lifts away and makes its way towards the airflow system that it needs to get into to get out of the way. The Royal Air Force VIP Voyager Vespina with 4 Lightnings. I think the bird life of London's all flown away. I saw them leave after the first wave. It's a marvellous roar of each of them coming over. Wave 12 is 4 Hawks, attack aircraft. I think young Louis find that quite noisy. And here we are at 70. Wave 13, 15 Typhoon, making the mark of the Queen's 70 years as sovereign. And here they come, the red arrows in red, white and blue, filling the sky with the great salute of the 3 national colours. The Queen, Platinum Jubilee, Commander-in-Chief. A national anthem for Her Majesty from the new guard and the old guard who are in the process of handing over the new guard we saw troop the colour earlier on for the Irish Guards. The Queen leaving. The Duke of Kent and the Earl of Wessex, last to leave of the royal family, as the pages close the windows and that balcony appearance is done.
That really was rather special, wasn't it? Alistair, I think the only person that matched your enthusiasm and excitement was little Prince Louis.
I loved it. You know, what one sees there is a salute to the Queen, but they're working aircraft.
Yeah.
That if you're a soldier on the ground or you're out at sea and you need help, when you see those come over, you know you're safe. And it's a sign, I think, of the protection and the importance of protecting the kingdom. And where the Queen forms the leadership role in that, it has effect and it matters to soldiers, sailors, airmen and women.